Hello and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucie.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
What was that your way of saying hello? Hi. Hi. What, you my adopted daughter? I haven't seen in 6 years.
I haven't adjusted to you yet.
I'm taking you to the San Diego Aquarium or whatever. Because we don't live in the same state. It's a problem.
Wait, why wouldn't you live in the same state as your adopted daughter?
Well, maybe. Well, subsequently, she became my. What do you call it?
Divorced daughter.
What do you call your kids when you get divorced?
Your divorced child.
You divorce your child.
No.
And your child's not. Is your child divorced?
No. Just,
look at my slob of a divorced child. Married at 19 and divorced at 21. The spaghetti stains all over his suit he got from the Men's Warehouse. He's just laughing at me. Living in my basement. No more. I'm gonna end my life and he'll have nowhere to live.
What about your reminder of your failures, child?
Is that a new one? Or
that's a new one.
Oh, it's not like you're reminding me of like some. But what about your reminder of your failures? How does he do that? I'm trying to picture. Is that supposed to be like a universally relatable thing?
Yeah.
Paint the picture for me, because I'm not.
I'm just saying that's what you would call it.
Well, how would you remind me? Oh.
This is my, just like you would call someone your stepchild.
But that implies that I have spaghetti stains all over my shirt and over my Men's Warehouse suit. Is that how you see me? Disgraceful. No, I don't know. I mean, maybe you call him. What do you call a divorced woman in the 50s?
Yeah, I was about to say spinster, but that's what you call a woman who's never been married, right?
Right. That's what we call a disused. I don't want to say it. I was going to say disused object, but women aren't objects. They're things, but not objects.
What about an unfortunate? Is that what you would call them? Maybe.
No. You think you think Don Draper's like, the real version of Don Draper, some successful man in the 50s, would just point out a divorced woman on the subway and go, "Look at that unfortunate." That's not descriptive at all.
Or an abandoned woman.
I was just thinking more like the prefix, like madam, because so a miss is like an unmarried woman, right? And a ms, a ma'am is a married woman. Why is it so funny?
You wanting to know the prefix makes a lot more sense. I don't know why I was coming. Pig of a woman, slob. I think madam would work.
Burden on my checkbook, even though I have hired the best lawyers and gave her nothing. What was the last thing you said?
Madam would probably work.
I don't think madam. What's Ms?
Mose?
Mose.
Well, Ms. didn't come around to like the 60s, I think.
Merc. I'll call her a Merc. I don't know. Point is,
Merc. How
about just fucking, I don't know. I don't know what I call my kids if you get never. How about that? That's what I call them. Never.
People used to say when your husband died, people used to call you the widow something. Like I would be the
me?
Yeah, like if your
if my gay husband died?
No, if my husband. So if you died,
right?
There was a time where I would.
They call you lucky. they would say that's a what's the opposite of a mulligan? Is it a mulligan? A do-over? They would say that's a parachute. It's a fat parachute. That's what they call it. Go on. What would they call me and my gay lover? What were you saying?
There was a time where people would have called me the widow Kump.
Right. I'll call so if I had a son, I would call him the legitimate. How about just a legitimate bastard? It's not really catchy.
LB for short.
Yeah, it's up LB. What's that? Legitimate. Oh. What's a synonym for legitimate?
Valid.
Swell bastard. This is my swell bastard. I divorced his mother because she was too into her crafts, and but that shouldn't be his burden. Am I right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm bringing them to like my workplace, showing it with the secretaries. Look at my swell bastard. His mother was a real challenging woman. She's very what's the word? Eager to point out my foibles.
In this scenario, did your wife leave you or did you leave her?
I left. Well, I shot myself in the hand, and then she seemed to think like I wasn't a fit father because I was so mad. Because she kept saying, like, why do you bet on these horses? You know, 'cause I would just I lost a lot of money on at the horse racetrack. At the horse race. This is how I picture it. I picture it, because the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Or is it now? Am I lost on my own metaphor?
I guess it could be either, but I think the 50s was the aesthetic you were going for.
Well, then it would be the horse races, but now it would be all sorts of things. You know, collage. You know, I spent too much time photoshopping, interesting collages. And she was very critical of that. And so one day I shot myself in the hand, just because I would never hurt a woman. I would never punch a woman or kick or I might spit at. If I was spit at first, I might spit at a woman, but that's hardly.
That's not violence.
That's
degradation.
Says you. Let's see which lottery of judge we get.
Yeah.
I might get some real piece of work judge who tells me that my spits are the Holocaust of our marriage.
Look, I don't think a healthy couple would be spitting on each other.
Well, no, you shouldn't.
Out of rage.
You shouldn't be like negotiating who pays the taxes this year and then like spitting if you don't get your way.
Right.
You know, which by the way, this year's your turn.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're ruined. What was my point? I don't even remember. Oh, so I took my adopted my swell. What do you call a bastard woman? I don't know how we got on this.
A woman can be a bastard too.
I don't think so. I think you have the bastress.
A bastard.
A basilic.
I know it doesn't seem like it should be the case, but girls with no daddies are bastards.
Bastiara. Anyway. Do you think if I mean we'll never get divorced because I'll just go into the ocean if we had to. If you ever if you ever had some like guy serve me papers for divorce, I would just go to the East River. I guess that's not an ocean, but I would just go to the East River and I would like wade out into the water and I'd be carrying a brick. I'd have bricks in my pocket. And I would take, the point of that is I would take the brick out. Once I weighed out a certain distance, I'd take the brick out of my pocket and start hitting myself in the skull with it until I just kind of, I bleed out, just lose the strength to float, whatever. But that's what your papers will get you. And everyone will remember you as the woman whose husband floated. What would happen? I think when what would be the New York Post headline?
Man,
Fat Vacation would be called. They aren't that good anymore. They're not that clever. If I was working for the New York Post, I would just call it Fat Vacation, and it'd be a picture of a fat corpse floating in the East River with a head wound. I would be fired probably. My editor would come in. What does Fat Vacation even mean? He's on vacation from his wife. Didn't you read a story about how the wife served him papers? You're making a lot of leaps here for a headline editor. Anyway.
You would probably become a symbol of some kind of movement if you did that.
I should fake that so that I could become that and then like quasi rise from the dead.
Yeah.
Like I'm sick of people calling whatever we're gonna end up calling them incels because they're people. And I feel like I could be the guy who runs them. So I'm going to stop calling them. The way I'm going to take charge of them is by changing their name first. And then we'll deal with the agenda. But whatever you want, we're going to call those guys. Placeholder, we'll just call them incels, I guess. But yeah, we're going to change it.
What are you going to do with them once you rally them around you?
What does anyone do with a gang? You leverage, you rob trucks. I'm going to get them to rob trucks for me. Like in The Sopranos or the Goodfellas.
I mean, if you became like a sort of a Wild Bunch type group.
I think a Wild Bunch robbed trucks, but I get your point. Yeah.
Well, they robbed moving objects. They're
Trains,
similar.
right? Yeah.
But the trucks are the new trains.
I wish trucks would like have like would move in convoys still.
Yeah.
So you can hop from truck to truck and be a
cool.
daring truck robbery.
But if you guys did become that, a lot of those guys would probably start getting laid.
Wait, you're telling me that you would like, you're pretty confident that you would lay a truck robber?
No,
If some guy came to the bar and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're like, good. What do you do for a living? And he's like, "Oh, I rob trucks." Yeah, I wish I could say I hop from truck to truck, but that's not really a thing. So I just robbed them at gunpoint. I robbed truck drivers at gunpoint, and I threatened to take the life of a father.
Oh, it really is that rugged. Like it's not. There's no like
rugged.
There's no like clever scheming for how to get the.
What do you think? We're like
items out of the truck without them even noticing.
What do you think? I'm getting like a laser and I'm cutting out like a hole in the highway that the truck drops into a balloon.
Like mini heist.
And even then, where's the guy go? No, we put a gun in the man's mouth when he's at a red light, and then we tell him we're gonna orphan his kids if he doesn't give us his maxi pads or whatever he's hauling.
Well,
What did you think this man you were sleeping with was all about? This robber who you just gravitated towards with your wetness.
How much could you possibly profit off of the illegal sale of maxi pads?
Well, look, that's not a great haul, first of all. Second of all, you go to any bodega in the city, I mean, do you think they're dealing with the maxi pad companies directly?
Right.
Probably not. I mean,
No.
if I go to I'm not saying all bodegas would be down for this, but if I went to, let's just say, 10 bodegas, I bet at least 3 of them would be happy to buy my maxi pads, which I discount, of course. Because it's all profit. Except for the bullets that I spent, shooting the guys who didn't give it up.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, some of the maxi pads you buy, or whatever feminine objects that you use, could be, could have been transacted in a violent robbery. I mean, the guy might have been murdered.
Mm. Well, anyway,
Is that why? Is that element? Is that part of why you want to sleep with these guys? Because
to answer that, to respond to your, your hesitance.
Hesitance?
Or your judgment of that statement.
Yeah.
I would imagine. First of all, I wouldn't be sleeping with any of these guys because I'm already the wife of their charismatic leader.
We are right.
But
we get that.
Yeah.
No, if you slept with a truck robber while we were married, do you understand how many hands of my own hands I would shoot? How many times I would swim out to the East River and brain myself?
But I think there are other women who would see like a gang with a charismatic leader.
Sure.
And be interested in that. Some women are attracted to violence. Yeah.
So you think like Medellin, Colombia was just like full of wet women? That's where Carlos Escobar was.
Yeah.
Do you think it was just like?
You think it wasn't?
You think these women would like be walking home from the shop and you would see like a judge like hanging from a street light with his tongue like tied through his neck or whatever goes on down there, and you're like, "Hubba bubba, give me summer." That's not.
Well, look,
what am I thinking of?
It's not that direct.
What's the little cute little thing I'm thinking of? Not Hubba bubba, give me summer. Well, that's not bad. Hubba bubba, give me summer. Whatever.
But it's not as direct as that.
When he blows up a school because just to show the local community, not to rat.
It's like
you're like, hey, I blew up this school. If you rat on me, I'll blow up the one we build next.
Well, it's like you rob a few trucks.
Yeah.
And maybe some of them get maxi pads, but other ones maybe that more profitable.
What would be a return on? What kind of objects in the truck?
No, the objects aren't the turn.
It seems to be an issue. It seems to be something you're dwelling on. What if I told you that like, there was a lot of meat in the truck?
You don't think that there were two? You don't think that there was a guy who wanted to, who you don't think there was a girl who wanted Clyde and a guy who thought Bonnie was cute?
I'm just trying to. Well, no, I know we put that in the movies.
People romanticize.
I know we rank a lot of movies where it's like, you know, when a woman has a gun pulled on her at the bank, it's fun to imagine that she's just incredibly turned on and not, you know, just whatever occurs in a woman's brain, like in a rape threat scenario, it's adjacent to that. But you know, but I get that it's fun to like write scripts about how it's actually just sexy.
Well, look, I'm not suggesting that these guys.
Do you think we should have I got an idea.
Wait.
We should have a Bachelor type TV show. We're good.
But I'm not suggesting that they ask out the woman they're pulling the gun on.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting that they ask out the woman that they see on the way out of the bank or something.
Wait, so you
the
think,
woman with the gun in her face, that might be too visceral.
So you're turned on by a robber who's such a who in the midst of I mean, you've seen Heat, right? Now, it didn't work out for those guys, but like as they were leaving the bank, they were all business.
Yeah.
You know, they were not stopping to like, you know, chat up women. Now, like, you know, I think because they got ratted out, right? But like usually, but they had these big guns and they were shooting cops and they were shooting and one from and what's his name? The Juice is the game or whatever, that guy. Tom Sizemore. He grabs a kid, uses it as a shield. I mean, do you think like you're picturing instead
you
of
really
like,
think you're gonna have you really think that that's a level of professionalism you're gonna get out of
my incels?
Yeah.
If I find out one of my incels, instead of taking a child and using them as a human shield, start chatting with some like, you know, tatted up like fat girl with orange hair, I'll lose my shit. I will fire that incel. That's not the kind of, you know, thing we're running.
Fire them. Wow.
Yeah. Well, what you think everyone just gets to be a part of my crew? There's got to be standards, or else what's the point of being a part of it? This is not like, you know, a church youth group. This is a crew of, you know, vicious, undersexed men who need to learn confidence. And this is, I think this is actually, you know, I shouldn't even be saying this on the show because it's a good idea. We should really be pitching some kind of bank robbing violence show. With dating, like violence and dating, but not the dating. The dates don't have violence.
Okay,
but a guy who's a murderer, but not a serial killer, because we all know women just love that for some reason.
Just a guy who's murdered once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. I look.
A
no.
woman.
If she got in the way of a bank robbery,
okay,
or a truck robbery, I'm not. Look, it's kind of a. I want the kind of guy on this show. This Bachelor-esque show to be the kind of guy who goes, look, I'm not trying to shoot a woman in the face, but if it's the choice, if it's like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, remember? What's that quote from Reservoir Dogs? If it's a choice between keeping the diamonds or shooting, or if a woman, you know, walks past me, I'll shoot the woman. I don't think is that the quote?
Probably not that exactly, but.
No, it's something like you know, if you know, I'm not trying to shoot people, but if you're gonna be an idiot, you know, you're gonna stick your nose in my business. Tarantino really has an ear for dialogue, doesn't he?
He does. He's a poet.
I'm gonna remake Reservoir Dogs. They just talk like the people they actually would be. You know, if some woman, she's gonna, you know, just start yapping off, blah 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 blah, and like, I'll just shoot her in the face. So, you know, whatever. I don't get how these criminals are all, you know, these guys are all like living a life of crime just so they have time to like hone their quippy dialogue. But yeah, so the Bachelor-esque show will be, you know. Are you getting the point? It's not that you kill a lot of women or people. It's just that you, like, you know.
Yeah, it's not that he's a woman killer.
And you don't want to kill, but you're just a professional. Like,
okay.
I don't get that. Like, I watch these shows or movies where guys, like, you know, yeah, you see, like, you know, like The Professional with John Reno, and he's just this nice guy, but hey, kill this guy. Here's a glass of milk, and he's like, yeah, I mean, you told me to, but like, but that's like, you know, that's my guy.
I mean, I think that you're onto something.
And don't tell me I'm not
a
supposed to
dating
relate to
show
him.
About, especially if it was a dating show about a criminal.
Yeah.
Looking for love.
Right.
A violent criminal.
On the lam for love. It's not bad.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That would sell.
I love lambs. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I want a lamb to be in the logo. Like a lamb chop type thing. But like not copyright. You know, we'll break the copyright. We'll make it just different enough. Of spots.
And to make the women feel more comfortable, we'll have kind of
we'll get a couch. you hear horse sitting in this big long L couch.
Those are nice couches.
Like the Graham, like the show, like the Graham Norton show, whatever it is, on BBC or whatever. He's got that nice long couch.
I think any woman walking into that dating show, she sees the big L couch.
Yeah.
This must be legit.
Yeah, it's like pink or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. All right. Hello. Thanks for coming, whores. I mean, who are these women in your mind?
The same women who go on any dating show.
Right. Just dumb
Yeah.
broads.
They don't have to be different.
I think they should be. You don't think they should be the victim? I mean, the twist would be that they're all their dads or they had a parent who was killed in the robbery.
Oh.
Right.
Wow. All 9 or 10 of them or whatever.
Yeah. With the gaggle.
Robbery really went sideways.
Well, no, it's not all one robbery. It's not one big robbery.
Oh, okay. So there's multiple.
You think this guy like had a heat type scenario, the Bachelor, and shot his way out of a bank in West Hollywood, but actually like survived, like made it, and he's trying to date one of the kids of one of the many victims of that single day? No, they just happened to have a parent who died in who was killed in a robbery.
Oh, okay.
It's not him. He didn't. I mean, this is perfect. How are you co-signing that? That like they're here to date, to win the heart of the man who killed their mother or father? That's crazy.
How could I not co-sign? That's great television.
That look, so would be, I can think of a lot of things that would be great television that would also be war crimes. I mean,
But I think that to make the ladies more comfortable,
yeah,
what could be there is his parole officer could be on site, so that in the event that he murdered any one of them, the parole officer would immediately report him for breaking parole.
I don't. Well, I mean, he definitely broke parole if he murdered one of them.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a parole violation
For sure.
But I gotta imagine that you're also getting charged with a fresh murder.
Yeah.
I don't know that the PO is really the relevant guy. I think you want cops or some kind of army, foreign, like some kind of army ranger or a SEAL.
Well, there being some like guards in there, that would kind of heat things up.
Yeah, it'd also probably be a legal requirement
because
from the insurance company or whoever.
Maybe one of the girls will fall in love with one of the guards.
Oh God! You think? So you want to got everything you're saying is
which
so
increases the odds of her being murdered by the criminal.
Well, sure, because I mean the kind of guard. I mean, the idea that we're gonna have this violent criminal who's killed, probably at least more than one person, probably multiple people, and we're worried about whether if he killed. You already broached the subject in one of our meetings about the PO situation, and the guards we hire are the kind of guards who would actually start dating the women he's protecting. This is that's bargain bin guards. It's not that's not Kevin Costner films with Whitney Houston. You're not supposed to date someone you're protecting. That's bad. That's a bad look. Yeah,
but our producers will rig. It's you can make all kinds of things happen on reality TV.
Are you and I the producers that we're referring to?
I mean, I assume so.
So you want us? I mean, we're gonna go to jail. You can do a lot of things in America, but I mean, we're just you're just ticking all the boxes. You can't do all of it. You can hire a bad guard, a cheap guard. You can have a crazy plot of a dating show with a violent criminal. You can set up a murder, but you can't do all three.
Well, that could be another storyline. It's like, will we go to jail?
So now it's really one season of dating and then 9 seasons of a prolonged court battle.
The crank on this thing is amazing.
The crank?
The crank.
dick?
The crank, the thing that keeps it going. keeps the tensions high.
Keeps
like people tuning in to see what happens every week.
I feel like, maybe. I mean, these shows seem to be expert. I never got into them, but they seem to be expert at keeping these people tautly, like, intrigued by the wooing and the dating and the this and that. And I feel like our show, it's like we set it up, and in the first 10 minutes, he murders a woman and goes to jail, and then we're, like, indicted. I don't. It seems like we blew our wad real quick. It seems like we're like not it's not we're like hoping that like we go to jail somehow, so that we can benefit. I don't know how we got here.
I think it's great.
It does sound fun. Who can we pitch this to? Tubi? They seem to be doing things.
Yeah.
Right? Is it one of those fast channels? Plex. I have his Apple TV now. It's very, I don't want to do a commercial for it. It's very nice. But like it links up all your things. So you can be like, you search for something, you're browsing for something, and it'll be on Netflix. Well, not Netflix, it doesn't work with Netflix. But like Prime or Max, and it'll like, it'll just be a hub for all that stuff. But then this thing, like, it's got all these, like, this thing, I wanted to watch a documentary on Coltrane, and it's on like, Plex. What the hell is Plex? Why can't we be on Plex? You tell me, like this random Coltrane doc can't, and then they wouldn't be interested in us? They can't give us $10,000? It's not gonna be an expensive show. We're gonna find some guy in the police blotter. We're gonna cut a lot of corners.
We're not gonna try to get a famous criminal.
What, we're gonna clone John Dillinger? What are you talking about? Who's famous?
We can just...
Who the hell is famous? Do you want to get the guy who bought the patent to like diabetes medication or whatever, insulin, and then
Scarelli?
Yeah, you'll get Martin Scarelli and then have him kill some people and rob banks and like, I mean, he's the most famous criminal I can think of.
Right.
Who's the guy? SV. Who's the guy who just got convicted with the hair? The crypto guy.
Oh, right.
Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah. His name is Bankman. Oh, God. He's going to be in jail for a long time, probably, right?
He might be.
Oh, fuck.
What about when does Jared from Subway get out?
Look it up. Because he'd be perfect.
It's a pedophile.
I mean, we're not going to have kids on this show.
Yeah, that's a good point.
From everything I described to you, I mean, if you're going to bring your kids to work on this set, I mean, I'm not going to say la vie because I don't want this to happen, but I'm going to fire you. Don't bring your kids here. This is dangerous for a number of reasons. I mean, molestation is like number 4 on the risk for these kids.
Sure.
In this set.
He gets out March 24th, 2029.
All right, look, I mean, it might be worth waiting. He looks good. Look at that second picture. Look at that second picture. Is that in jail?
Look good.
He looks great. He's got a great chin, honestly. Oh, man.
Jesus.
People have been dogging this guy for a while. I mean, he does have a weird squinty face.
He looks atrocious.
He looks like he's being, like, beaten hard. I mean, this is a picture from jail?
Beaten, starved.
I mean, they feed you in jail. What are you talking? I mean, it's not Subway. It's not delicious Subway meat, but, like, it's nice. It's not a nice Subway club, if that's what you thought. If you thought you were going to go to jail and get an Italian BMT sandwich, you're sorry, Lucy. But, God, what's going on with this guy? What do you think his job is in jail? Everyone has a job, right?
I could see it maybe keeping books.
Keeping books?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Book.
Keeping book?
Or a prison librarian.
Wait. What do you mean keeping book? You meant like a bookie? You think he's a prison bookie? I mean, I don't know. Did they take all his Subway money? Google this for me. See what good Google can do. Did what's his name? Jared Kushner? No, what's his name?
Jared from Subway.
Sorry, fine. Jared from Subway lose all his Subway money when he went to jail. Oh, is this a net worth up there? Wait, he's got a net worth of... Go back up.
It said $4 million.
He's got a net worth of $4 million. He could run book in prison. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind going to jail if I had $4 million. I would just, spread the wealth. I could fix jail if I had $4 million from the inside.
But fix it how?
Just probably make some kind of game show in there. I would just have someone smuggle in a camera in their ass, like a real nice camera, and then we just make have a riot, but like as a cover for my new quiz show, and it's called murder rapist quiz, whatever. Jeopardy for rapists and murderers. Whatever. We'll get someone. We'll hire someone for the marketing company for the catchy title. Jeopardy. What do they call the bitches in Oz? Right, like when you're someone's bitch, you call your Prague.
Prague, yeah.
Jeopardy Prague edition.
Jeopardy Prague tournament.
Yeah, that's good. Prague tournament. Because it's not going to be the big players. It's going to be the fucking, that's going to be, I'm going to create a new economy. Instead of an economy of rape and drugs and just, and race crime and race hate, right? That happens in jail. It'll be an economy. I mean, God forbid, if you are a college graduate or a smart person who goes to jail, you're going to be trafficked into this new economy of jail quiz. It's like the violent alpha types are gonna, but you won't be bitched into a life of sucking and being filled with things. It'll be a life of studying at the threat of violence.
Sure, that
could be nice. I mean,
who's threatening the violence? I
mean, think of J.K. Simmons' character in Oz.
Oh, okay, because he has the
guy from Whiplash, for people, the bald guy, the guy who plays this newspaper man, Spider-Man. He was the head white nationalist in Oz.
Yeah,
the prison show.
So does J.K.
Imagine
Simmons,
he was telling you have to read the almanac every night.
So does J.K. Simmons have a stake in the winnings?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how, but yeah.
Okay.
No, that's part of how we get to work. I got $4 million in this scenario because. I don't want to say I'm Jared from Subway, but I have some other situation, not pedophilia related, a tax evasion thing, and I'm in jail with $4 million, right? That's not gonna. I need to have these killers on my side, helping to organize this thing.
Yeah.
You think? I picture you in prison, just trying to ignore them, not giving them their tribute.
So is it like the Prague gets however much money, and then their owner in prison, the
Prague probably gets a cupcake. I don't know. Well, that shitty cupcake you get in prison.
But then the owner gets money.
Cornbread. Yeah, I don't know how owner. It's not owner. It's not slavery.
I mean, it is kind of a system of sex slavery when that happens, isn't it?
I mean, if you want to use that word, you don't have to. It makes it less fun to talk about. Especially in this Jeopardy scenario. We have Jeopardy slaves now? I don't know. Now I feel bad. I picture it just as, you're being inspired to achieve. But there'll be some kind of betting situation, I imagine. I don't think I'm allowed to just give out generous cash prizes.
I just imagine you doing the Ken Jennings or Alex Trebek, however you want to think about it, in interviews between rounds.
Right.
When every contestant says a little bit of snippet about themselves.
Right.
And you come to the first Prague, and he's like, I'm abused every night. I'm treated horribly in here. And you're like, okay, all right, let's keep it light, all right? This is the Jeopardy Prague tournament.
He thinks
it's inspirational.
I don't know where he thought did he think he went through the shit tunnel in Shawshank that Andy Dufresne made? That's not what this is. I'm in prison too, buddy. I made a game show. That's the difference. You're in my game show. I'm sorry you didn't, you're a Jeopardy Prague, so apparently you have some kind of intelligence, but not the chutzpah to make a game show. He's talking to me like I'm not a judge's decision away from having my mouth, all my teeth broken and turned into a vagina. The nerve of this guy. I have to play politics in this prison, or else they'll just break all my teeth and break my ass. Just put my teeth in my ass, probably. They're gonna glue. They're gonna glue or nail my teeth into my own ass, and then like talk to my ass like it's a joke. I have to be very careful, or else that will happen. Anyway, moving on. But we were talking about divorced kids, right?
Yeah, kids, children of divorce.
Children of divorce. I mean, you shouldn't be able to just take my kid to San Diego if I don't live in San Diego. We're watching.
I agree with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, men notoriously don't advocate for their parental rights in court. But,
you're basing that on what?
Statistics.
On just a fucking, like some pamphlet you read in a dentist office, from the 50s, probably. I mean, is that actually true? Most people I know like their kids. I
agree, but how much?
I mean, not enough to move to San Diego, but
right.
I got a job here. So I make $40,000 a year.
But anyway, I think we've been discussing for years now.
Yeah.
A pretty brilliant solution to the tribulations of divorce as they affect children.
Mm-hmm.
Because we
why are you trying to pass this off as a years thing?
Well, it has been years.
I thought
We've probably been talking about this for 2 years.
Are you confusing?
Core idea, not the really brilliant one.
Oh, okay.
Which is basically that if all things being equal, assuming they're decent people, but they just got divorced,
right?
The kids should have a home, and the adults have to take turns living in it.
Right. That was our idea. That's a good point. Because here's what just to be clear, we watched Kramer vs. Kramer. Which is that Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep movie.
Right.
And it got us thinking about divorces and kids and divorced kids. And she wants to take the kid away and move to, because she left. They really wrote a bad character. A character who just was confused, left her son, went to go get humped probably, got a job somewhere.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I want my kid back. And the implication seems to be she's going to bring him back to California. I guess they say she's in New York, but his lawyer is very much like, yeah, you're probably gonna leave because you're bad. You're just a flighty woman. You
never committed to anything.
Yeah, you ruined your marriage.
You're frivolous.
Why should we trust you? Your marriage failed.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't argue with the logic.
That was a brilliant move by that lawyer.
He's a great lawyer. I mean, that's right out of my textbook. You're a divorced woman. Shut up. But yeah, but basically, it just seems crazy. Because usually what happens, I've known divorced kids. I mean, I want to say one thing. Divorced kids love nothing more than to tell you how hard it is to be a child of a divorce. Oh, it was the worst thing when my parents got divorced. Oh, you don't know what it's like. Well, you don't know what it's like to have parents that stay together.
That's so true.
I mean, but when you but it's not. I mean, the idea is what do you think we have? Like, you think they want to stay together, or like June Cleaver, whoever that was?
Right.
Who is June Cleaver? Is that from the Cleaver Show?
The ones that stay together are so much more psychotic.
Well, it can't. Not all. let's give ourselves a little hope. But yeah, I agree. You mean the ones who are contentious but stay together?
Right.
Right. The ones who would otherwise get divorced but stay together for the kids.
Yeah.
You think that's psychotic?
Yeah.
You think it's psychotic to not be able to go, look, we don't love each other anymore, apparently, but let's just not do everything that annoys each other constantly. For the sake of the kid.
Well, obviously that's good.
All we do is fight. Well, can you not just leave your underwear, your panties all over the toaster? Why are you even doing that? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Right.
And some woman go, oh, he talks down to me. Well, you left your panties inside the toaster because you forgot to go to the dry cleaner and dry them or wash them. So you wash them in the sink. You wash all the shit out of your panties, and then you put them in the toaster the friggin' dry, but then you forgot them, and you went to work with no panties, and now they're just sitting there like in my toaster. I'm trying to make I could take it out. And look, I know I've eaten your pussy.
You told me that you liked that when we started dating. You said you thought it was cute.
Well, it's anything erotic in a woman can be cute, but until like your English muffin. Try to make English, it's not like I don't eat your whole, It's not that I'm not intimate with you, but something about you getting on my English muffin. Then this is not you. Don't own this. I'm just coming up with a scenario here.
Right.
The point is, You think it's psychotic to not just and that's a metaphor or an example.
I'm not talking about the people who solve their problems, though.
I'm just saying you don't just solve your problem. You don't just fix your marriage. Just don't nudge each other constantly. Like, I don't understand. Like, be a grown person. Like, the idea that two people can't cohabitate and just, like, you know, like you get in a fight with your roommate every day if you have roommates. Hey, cocksucker. Look at me. I hate you.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, sometimes. We had a roommate who was very, you know, but that's not the point. Well, we had that one who just loved Bill Maher. Just cackling at Bill Maher. Anyway.
Cooking raw beets and salmon.
Cooked raw beets and salmon every day. Just disgusting. Disgusting person.
Really a despicable.
I hope he died in the flood. Was there a flood? Was there a flood in the past few years?
Yeah, there was a flood.
I hope he was in that.
In the last few months.
Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, imagine. Oh, wow. Well, I wish you could Google. I mean, I guess you could do Google alerts for that, but.
I hope he's one of those guys who tried to kayak in the flood and it just turned over and he drowned.
Yeah, a survival kayak. He just blundered it. Just a guy. I mean, I just wish. I don't wish death on anyone. But I wish that if he does die, it's a blunderous death.
Oh, yeah.
Just a
flailing.
A buffoon's death. You know? Now, I hope to be clear, I prefer that he lives, even though I don't like him. But if he does die, no dignity.
Yeah.
Just graceless. Anyway.
One of those deaths that gets filmed and it's kind of funny. People hate to admit it, but it's kind of funny to watch.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're smiling. You're glad he's not alive anymore.
Right.
Now the point. Now get back to it. Look, the point is, but you get divorced, and then the kid has to. It's not like I can't relate to these kids who are like, yeah, my parents on love each whatever. But it does seem annoying to have to go back and forth. Like you have a house half the week and a house half the other week.
Right.
And
the kid has to do all the travel.
Yeah,
on behalf of his shitty parents.
Sometimes these people live in Jersey or New York or some weird distance. You know? Yeah. It's crazy. What our solution is rather elegant. Is that, and we have to become judges, I guess, much like the Federalist Society, took over the courtship. We'll do it for this purpose. Is that the kid gets the house. Right?
Yeah.
The kid gets the house, and effectively, I mean, of course, he doesn't own it. He's a dumb child.
Yeah.
But, he lives in the house. The mother and father come and go from the house.
Right.
Nothing worse than some newly divorced mother thinking she runs the roost of the house. It's not her house. I mean, all these shows where a guy's paying a mortgage, and she's living there, and it's like, she has the kid. All right. The kid gets the house. I just feel it's not misogynistic, but I can't stand the smugness of a woman who doesn't at least acknowledge that's unfair. He's paying it, and she's just like, I live here because the kid,
Look,
I'm a woman and the kid.
I agree with you, but also a lot of men just don't want to raise their kids.
That's not true.
If they want to see them, but they have an obsession with seeing their kids, but they don't really but they know that the woman's been taking care of most of the stuff.
Well, look. Here's the difference.
Fair for her to get
Women say that because they think that they're fawning and their little kisses and their little and the dumb little crinkles they put in the sandwich are proper. That's weird shit that you shouldn't be doing to my kid. All right. And the fact that I don't do it doesn't mean
what are crinkles?
What?
What are the crinkles in the sandwich?
You take your fingernails and you kind of just press into the sandwich.
Oh, like when you cut the crust off?
That's not. No, I was just imagining a woman who had long fingernails, just pressing her fingernails into the sandwich. I don't know. Okay. I wasn't a crust off the sandwich kid. I didn't care if my mother did some specific wizard trope of a lunch meal. So I can't relate. But I imagine these kids, these mothers' boys, these kids who love their mothers so much,
right?
That these children of divorce. It's like, but she didn't, they sliced the fucking sandwich and diagonally. What are you fucking just pissing all the time? You're just pissing inside your pants constantly. Shut up. I'm saying, I imagine that the woman's pressing her fingernails into the sandwich. Just so the kid sees the fingernails and goes, my mother touched this. Oh, all is well. Yeah, I just don't understand. I mean, you can help me along here.
This is why Our disagreements about this are exactly why Divorce City is such a great idea.
Right. Well, that's the idea. So basically, the mother and father, they come and go from the house. And at first, we had this idea that basically you would get a shitty apartment. Instead of a shitty apartment the dad gets, and
It's
the
a
kid
shitty
lives,
apartment for both of them.
and the kid lives in a shitty apartment with the dad, and he looks disgraced, like, and he's looking at him like, why do we live like this? He's like, hey, I'm paying for everything, this and that.
If you can afford 2 different places on top of the kid's house, good for you.
Same thing. Well,
But-
right.
But
No, by default, yeah.
if only one place can be afforded, you have to share that apartment.
You have a unisex bedroom now.
Yeah.
You know, the woman can fuck other men and vice versa, but no pictures of Hasselhoff,
Yeah.
no fruity, angels. Unisex,
You get a shitty painting of a beach
blue and green.
that you can hang on the wall.
Yeah, a beach picture.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing, you can't leave you have to take your underwear back and forth with you.
Yeah.
No one, you can't sabotage your husband when he brings some male woman, some woman who delivers a male home to have sex with her. Maybe in theory you should the sex should all happen at the other place.
Yeah, it has to be like you were never there when you leave.
Yeah, you're not even allowed to have. Screw that. You're not even allowed to have sex.
Yeah.
You can have a man, I guess, but he meets you at the other place.
Right.
He meets you at the dingy, shitty place on top of the Chinese place. And I'm not putting down Chinese restaurants, but I mean, you don't want to live on top of it. It's so much oil smoke.
There's a quote unquote.
I'm not being racist.
There's a quote unquote super in your building,
Right?
Who's really just a former sexual assault detective who will go into your bedroom when you
They
leave.
get pensions, don't they?
He'll enter your bedroom when you leave it, and he'll look for evidence of sexual activity.
Just consensual activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And what happens if you fucked?
Then you get
No, you're
bad
allowed to have
things-
sex
bad
there.
things happening.
Okay, but not officially, because as far as the judge is concerned, that's where you have sex.
Oh, in the apartment.
Right.
That makes sense.
On top
yeah.
of the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's his rules.
Right.
The judge. I'm a judge. I can't I can't tell you where to live.
Sure.
I mean, well, in our scenario, you can.
Yeah.
We're getting to that. We're getting to it. Okay. So, I think people are kind of realizing where this is going.
Mm.
Where we have all these divorced parents, and then they live far away. Why not just? You made a good point. It'll be a sign of affluence that because they'll be divorced. Just you take this over. You bring this to.
One issue that always comes up with the scenario
Yeah.
that we painted is that it's going to create a lot of new demand for housing, sort of.
Right.
And we solved that by creating a living facility called Divorce City,
Right.
where everybody gets kind of like a little shitty apartment, ensuite sort of apartment, and there are like there are every area. Within reason will have a Divorce City.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can dictate like what's in Divorce City.
Right.
It's more about corralling the people who failed at marriage into areas.
A shared space, yeah.
Right. You really want some divorce? I mean, look, if you can
Yeah, people don't want to be around the divorced.
maybe we can rework we can work into some look, divorce without kids is fine.
Does it sound like a ghetto? Sure, but maybe it is.
There are ghettos exist. Why not for this?
Yeah.
How about instead of for race, they're for this? Now, also, if you don't have kids, we don't care.
Yeah.
That's not even a divorce in our eyes. That's just a whatever.
Yeah, that's just a breakup.
Yeah. But then you can maybe marry your way out of Divorce City. But we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, that's
But
very complicated.
But no one, so with those caveats, no one wants to see your smelly divorced ass at the fucking park with their kids.
Right.
Just desperate, imagining that you're imagining my kid was your kid. Not that you're doing anything. But like, I'm playing catch with my boy, and you're just going, I used to play catch with my boy. All right, yeah, it's a common thing. I mean, I don't even want to do. It's just something that like they say to do. It's just we've all been told to play catch with your boy. All right, and stop bothering. Go smoke your cigarette somewhere else, you weird creep.
Right.
I'm sick of these divorced people.
Now, obviously, in affluent areas, people might be a little bit closer to Divorce City.
Sure.
But and then there will be people.
Oh, so you think that by default? Because you made a good point. Like it'll be kind of a sign of of your station in life or whatever, that like how close your divorce city is to
your kid's house.
right.
Yeah.
To the local. I mean, did we designate a kid land or something?
Marriage town.
Oh, did we make Marriage Town?
The kids live in Marriage Town.
Okay. I don't like the idea. Where we live.
Where do we? Oh, where we?
Like Ross right now. We're not a kid. We're not divorced. We don't have a kid. I mean, do the families not exist amongst the single either?
No, look, there's no for scratch Marriage Town. The kid just lives in a normal house.
Right.
Right.
It's more a matter of like you live in some undesirable, out of the way place.
Right.
As divorce city.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there will obviously be people who are like, this sucks, you know, the closest divorce city to me is like an hour and a half away from my kid.
Right. Yeah, you can't just live wherever you want anymore.
Right.
You've given up that right by failing at a childed marriage.
Yeah.
By letting your kids down. Because there's got to be some pain. Like, it can't just be like, oh, I wanted to go to architecture school and they didn't because I had a kid.
Right.
And now I get to go to architecture school. I mean, if you can find one in divorce city, sure. I mean, if anyone wants to hire an architect who went to that shitty school that's in divorce city,
yeah, maybe there would be like a community college or something, so that if people really felt that they were denied achieving certain reasonable goals in their marriage, they can do so. But basically, like, no getting divorced because you wanted to go to Spain.
I don't think that the guy who built the Burj Khalifa went to that shitty school.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that, in Dubai. Tell you that guy went to probably Harvard or something. MIT, not the divorce city. Municipal Community College. Yeah.
There's some kinks in this plan, but I think in general it would go a long way towards preventing divorces that were like started by like somebody wanted to go get gelato in Italy, and somebody wanted to go explore the rugged terrain of Mexico, and they got divorced over what vacation they wanted to have.
This is about us and our impending full blown honeymoon that we're gonna do.
Woo woo.
We don't have plans. Don't act like it was woohoo. It's like, you know, if we don't do it soon, it's gonna be a thing that we didn't do. We had a little thing, but you know, I gotta take it to Italy or something, or I'm screwed. or to Machu Picchu. Is that what you were? So one woman wanted Machu Picchu, the other one wanted to, you know. Fuck, you know, what's that thing when the bulls mount them in Italy?
Oh, yeah.
What's Spain?
That's Spain. The running of the bulls.
The mounting of the bulls? No, honey, we should do the mounting of the bulls. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, the only thing about it is just kids. I just hate how divorced children think they're special. They always have this air of like, because like the dad's always trying to make it up to them, not in any real way,
right?
But like buying them extra toys.
Sure.
You know, when you do see your dad, it's like a thing, and he tells you he loves you, maybe, and he hugs you.
Sure.
Get lost.
I do think that sometimes divorce.
Get lost with that. Lose me with that shit.
Yeah.
You know your dad's first name? Like, I mean, I know it, but like, you know, like you. I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
I do think that children of divorce sometimes have unrealistic expectations for parental love. Like, it's like, they're like, you know, it's like, like they got that, so they assume whatever the kids whose parents stayed married got was even better.
It's really the problem with a lot of things.
It really was worse.
I can't speak on as authoritatively on like race issues and stuff, but there does seem to be a trend in general. I'm not negating everything, but a trend in general where everyone thinks that their life sucks because of something.
Right.
And sometimes that's true, but a lot of times life just sucks.
Sure. And
then if your parents get divorced, then you can blame that. Now I'm not saying like, you know, like slavery was terrible. That's not one of these things I'm talking about. Or what's another horrible thing? Forced sterilization of handicapped people. I'm not talking about that. That's something legitimate to go, oh, like you can complain about. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Jim Crow laws, sure. But like not being divorced.
Yeah.
And not being like, you know, it's like, oh, my dentist misgendered me once. Who cares? I mean, I'm open-minded. I'm very supportive, but like, I don't care if your dentist didn't remember which gender you are. Even though, look at your teeth. Dirty. Your teeth are so dirty. What's my point? Oh, I mean, what kind of schools is this like?
Like child school?
Yeah, I guess the child school is just a regular school,
It's
right?
just a regular school, yeah.
These
That's
kids,
the brilliance of this plan.
these kids are gonna get Macaulay Culkin syndrome, though. That's the problem. Maybe they have to get like less stuff. Maybe we actually penalize the kid because look. Oh, don't blame the kid. Sometimes the kid is the fault. Not completely, but I mean, if you're an annoying kid, I mean, it puts strain on a marriage.
Sure.
You know, if you're always asking questions, if you're always like, you know, if you honestly, you gonna tell me some kid who has piano practice, soccer practice, Boy Scouts, karate, name other things the kids do.
Swimming lessons.
Swimming, soccer, all this shit. And then you tell me that kid's not a little responsible? I mean, these parents don't have any time to, you know, to love each other, to nurture.
Yeah.
To suck and hug. You know? It's just like, they're just
yeah,
like.
what's with that? How come the kid is at all these activities and parents are still being like, we don't have any time to fuck?
Well, because, you know, they're busy.
Jobs.
They're busy trying to kidnap other kids. They're the typically parents who don't molest their own children. You know, it's the whole.
Yeah.
This, you know, hierarchy or whatever.
Another detail of Divorce City.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a lot of complaints at first.
Sure.
That, you know.
And, you know, if you complain, you're going to put you in jail. That's where you go. Fucking jail. Right now, in that frag Jeopardy shit.
Oh, I don't want to share an apartment with my ex, even though, you know, even if they're not there when I'm there, it makes, you know, I don't want to share it with them. I can picture that. Yeah. But that problem will solve itself when the parents of Divorce City start kind of mingling. We'll have mixers and stuff.
Oh,
and
eventually
they'll all start, you know.
It's gonna be a ocean of herpes.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, we're gonna like fucking crop dust the place with penicillin. They're gonna be humping more than a retirement village.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be disgusting. I mean, it's just gonna be like a bacchanal. Because it's gonna be the kind of thing where it's like, I don't gotta clean up my act. I don't gotta like quit drinking or quit fentanyl or whatever. I can just, you know, I can hold. I can. I mean, I don't know. If you're like a heroin addict, can you wait 3 days? Maybe not.
Wait.
So here's the thing: you can't be a heroin addict full on. You have to be the kind of heroin user who like, look, I do it on the weekends, but that's what Divorce City is gonna be.
Right.
It's going to be like a RoboCop movie. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be all sorts of like, you know, illegal animals, a lot of gambling,
right?
A lot of sex, a lot of AIDS, a lot of casinos. Oh, there's going to be like a lot of vice,
for sure,
and like predatory companies.
Yeah.
You know?
But that will be balanced out by all the excessive force that the police use.
Sure. I don't know if that... Yeah, okay. Sure. I'll run with that. That seems... Yeah, okay. I also feel like Coca-Cola, for instance, will just make shittier Coca-Cola and not tell anyone that goes to the Divorce City, but charge the same price. Like I
think corporations will brag about it.
Well...
I think they'll say, we were able to donate $300,000 to children's charities by you know, reducing the amount of sugar in Divorce City Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I hear you, but it's kind of just from a longevity point of view, because we're not turning them into like, you know, divorced slaves.
Sure.
We can't force them to buy the Coke, and so like, you know, if I want it to be a thing where it's like it's just something like, you know, they're waiting for the bus because there's no Ubers, there's no cab, everything's a bus, a terrible bus. They think you do a shitty job. And you're waiting for the bus, and he's just some guy scratching himself, waiting for the bus, asking some other idiot waiting for the bus. Like, do you feel like the Coke tastes worse than it used to? And it's just you know, and it just smells like the garbage is picked up once a month. I'm just saying that I that's what I picture. It's not. I don't think Coca-Cola is like advertising it like, you know.
Yeah.
Hey asshole, I mean, look, if you want to tax these, you know, divorced dads and apportion some of the tax money to like, you know, mandatory Coke that's you know, flavored like shit, maybe. But I think this would be good for us. I'm not sure about the kids, but just I feel like we can make a lot of money at this.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna that's the problem. All these ideas, we don't know how to make money. That really is our problem. We need to find someone who makes money and team up with them. We need to show them the specs of divorce. So where are the pain points? Where's the money come to us? And then probably it always just boils down to, like, selling drugs, selling piss.
I feel like we could get Martin Shkreli in on this.
Martin's. Is he? Yeah. Is he related to Martin Scorsese?
Why would
Their names are somewhat similar.
the first names are so similar?
I feel like they should be like they're from the same island in Italy, maybe. Oh, Scorsese and Martin Scorsese, Martin Shkreli. It's like, what I mean? It's like if you were introducing a bunch of people. This is my cousin Martin Scorsese. This is my cousin Martin Shkreli. This is my cousin Bob. He's a disgraced cop. Anyway, we have to move on. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this show, which of course you listen to the last hour, of course you like this show. We have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/RayCump. If you sign up, it's $5 a month. What do you get? Is it some list in the credits somewhere in some video? Is it some thank you? No, you get an extra episode every week for $5 a month. It's a nice deal.
And we'll also put you on the short list for a spot in Divorce City when it becomes available.
Or Prague Jeopardy.
Yeah.
So, so check it out if you like. If not, we'll see you next week. Have a great week.